SLAPAFISH community, welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video, I'm going to be comparing the AMX 13105 to the T100LT to the WZ132-1, the Sheridan, and the Ramatov Panzerwagen Tier 10 light tanks. So let's take a review of the AMX 13105, and let's jump right into it. So, the reason why I'm comparing the AMX 13105 to the rest of the light tanks, the rest of the Tier 10 light tanks, because I didn't know which one to actually compare it to. Because this is a... Oh yeah, I am forgetting the... What the heck is that thing called? The TAS. Only reason I'm forgetting the TAS is because I don't own it, and it's also not a tech tree, but you could... It's also as a dirt gun. I think it's kind of comparable to this tank. Well, dang. But anyway, I asked y'all on YouTube, like, which tank you want me to compare it to, and y'all said all of them. So I'm like, okay. Anyway, so this tank has the worst horsepower of all the Tier 10 light tanks. It has 37.5 horsepower per ton. The T100LT has the best. Goes 68 forward. Reverse speed is the worst at 22, has a really good fire chance at 10, has the worst track rotation, has the second best, the third best, well, second or third best terrain resistance. It has the worst turret speed at 38 degrees a second, has a 105mm, has the worst reload at 32 seconds, worst aim time at 2.3 seconds, has an accuracy of 0.42, which is in the middle of these tanks. Has the worst dispersion while moving the tank, worst dispersion while rotating the turret, worst gun elevation at 12 degrees, has 8 degrees of gun depression, which is pretty nice. It's still in the middle of all the Tier 10 light tanks. It does 390 damage per shot on its standard and premium, and 480 on its high explosive, which is the best out of these Tier 10 light tanks. It has 234mm of penetration on its standard, 280mm on its premium, which is pretty average, only for the T100LT to get 248. Its high explosive is pretty average at 53mm, but the force of the Tier 10 German light tank actually blows it away at 120mm. It has a 1.91 splash radius, which is average. Its shell velocity on standard is the worst at 1,000 meters per second, but its premium is at 800 and high explosive is at 700. It has the worst DPM at 1,876, worst round per minute at 4.81, but it does get an autoloader, so it should make it up. It gets 3 shots per clip. It has an inner clip reload of 2.73 and a damage per clip at 1,170 on average. Now, what does this turret have? For armor, it has 40 at the front, 20 at the side, 20 at the back. Completely useless and may pull off some ricochet. It has an armor hole of 50 at the front, worst side armor out of the Tier 10 light tanks, and has 50 at the back. Has the worst view range at 390, low signal range at 750, has the lowest hit points at 1,400, has 0.32 stationary and 0.32 moving concealment. Now, as you can see, the red and the greens. The green means it has the best of what it's being compared to, and the red means it's the worst. So the 13105 actually had 3 greens and 15 reds out of this. If you compare out of this list, I would say the force of the Tier 10 German light tank is the most overpowered tank out of this list, going by the greens and the reds, because it had the worst reds, the lowest reds and the highest, and it also had the highest greens, so it's kind of funny. The worst rated Tier 10 light tank on the PC is like our most powerful one. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, the 13105 only had the highest damage per shells. So that's the only thing it gets out of the other tanks. So that's it. That's it. Now let's go jump and do some gameplay. Alright, we just ended up on Mines. And Mines is one of my favorite maps. And I also forget to say that this tank only brings 33 ammunition, 33 rounds to a match. So that's another thing about this tank. It's not that good. But it may have very bad stats, but I really love this tank. I really love the burst of damage that you can have with the auto-loading. It's the only tier 10 auto-loading light tank. This tank has went through 1 or 2 nerfs. I don't remember how many nerfs, but it's went through a couple. The reload used to be a lot quicker. It used to be like 22, 24 seconds around that. Now it's a 32-second reload. But either way, this tank can absolutely still destroy, as you'll see in this match. I always have match. I like to have matches like this, and getting on Mines allows you to do it. So the equipment I'm using is a binoculars, camo net, and the vertical stabilizers. I like to pass a scout in this tank, and whenever I see like an opening to like put some shots into somebody like this, I put my shots in. That long inner cliff reload, you see how long it is? It takes forever for it to get out. But we managed to do 1,194 to that Pershing, which we are leaving him with low hit points. Basically, what I like to do is when there's an opening, when there's a tank by itself, or I can get to the flanks of somebody, put the 3 shots in, fall back, hide while I'm reloading, then do it all again. As you're about to see, I'm about to try to put all 3 of my shots into this Type 4 heavy. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. And out of there before he can turn his turn. He was about half health, and now he's he's struggling with his low hit points now. There's a Batshot 12T right there that's probably going to give me troubles. He's probably putting 1 shot into me, and I see a Pershing, an E4, and an M103 with Batshot 12T. Good news is the Pershing and the E4 are down to 1 shot, so I can reload and put 1 shot in the Pershing. Boom. Put 1 shot in the E4. Boom. And maybe go for a reload. I'll put a shot into the object 260. But yeah, that's what I like about this tank. Try to snapshot into the 260, but it misses. That's fine. This tank, I really love this tank. I love doing really good bursts of tanks. I have all the tier 10 light tanks, except for the tier 10 German one. I've sold the Sheridan, but after doing this tank review, tank comparison, I'm thinking about getting my Sheridan back and really grinding for the tier 10 German light tank. I wasn't getting the tier 10, I didn't want to get the tier 10 German light tank because I seen reviews on PC and it's like, oh, this tank's terrible. I'm like, I'm seeing things about the tier 10 German light tank that I really like. But anyway, enough about other light tanks. Let's focus about the 13105. The one that we're doing tank review. There's a 103. No, that's the M60. Snapshot in a 260. Shot into the 260, took him down, and we ran into a dead carcass, and we're running up a rock. And we're going to probably get shot by the M60. We just lost 3 tanks in a row, and the 705 Alpha's staring at us, which is bad. Very bad. And he misses? I think he does. No, he puts a shot right into us. Remember, we have the lowest amount of hit points out of any tier 10 light tank, which we're going to struggle with our light tanks. I'm going to ram him and put a shot into him, because I know I can survive, and it should bring him down to a low enough hit point to put 1 shot into him. I'm trying to put both of my shots into the M60, but try not to get killed on the same time. So we got 18 shots left, 9 APCR, 9 heat. We just lost another E5. I want to reload and either take out that M60 or try to take out these two guys over here. But the 705 Alpha is very dead. So now I'm thinking about taking out the IS-7. Trying to help these two guys out over here. Reloading. IS-7 staring at me, which I don't need them to be staring at me. And I remembered there was artillery, so I start moving, start jolting back and forth. And now he's running away. The IS-7 takes our 705 out. We put a shot into him. And our final shot ricochets. So right now I'm kind of panicking because he's probably loaded. He's loaded. He shoots. He kills me. And I'm dead. So that sucks. Alright, so we got a victory on mines. We made 37,000 silver. 5,050 damage done. 5,050 damage done. That's really good, even though it's a tier 10. It's really good. We got top of the leaderboards. Fired 18 shots, direct hit 16, penetration is 13. And yeah, that's it about this video. If you like this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also remember to SLAPAFISH because we're always done. And peace out. See ya.